Are you in business, or are you aspiring to be a businessman? Everybody is saying the future is business, the future is manufacturing, the future is production, the future is in business. As they claim that the future is business, let's talk the truth. Not all businesses get to the level where the owners had envisioned them. So many small businesses start, but they end up failing. So many businesses are aspired to be started, but then very few make it. According to Forbes magazine, 80% of small startup businesses do not see the 5th anniversary or the 5th year in operation. They end up collapsing and being liquidated and other challenges that comes with businesses. Businesses don't do well sometimes, especially in our third world countries. This is in Kenya, in Africa, to be specific, in Kenya. Let us talk about things that are those factors that make our businesses not succeed. Number one is no market need, lack of market need. That rates according to 42%. You see, assume that you are somewhere in Moyale, Isiolo, all those populated areas whereby most of the, or 90% of the population there are Muslim. We all know it's in public domain. Muslims don't take pork meat. There you are, starting a pig business, expecting the locals to consume your pig meat. Those, haiwezi. The same case applies. As you're starting something, look at the problem that is on the ground and let the problem inform the solution to bring. That is, what are people lacking? What people need here? And then they provide that service, that product that they really need in that area. Don't go for something that is already not so much in need. To avoid that blunder, don't fall in love with your idea or your product so much that you fail to fall in love with the solving a market need. Solving a market need is the biggest and the most important reason to start a business. If you're not solving a market need, you may get out of the market soon, because at the end of the day, when you provide a solution to a need, be sure monies are going to flow. Reason number two, why businesses don't do well, especially the small businesses. Yes, running out of cash. Last week on Facebook, my friend James Okumu is a media personality with Family Media, posted a question on his timeline. When given 2 million, will you go for 2 million to start a business or be employed after 100,000 per month? There was divergent views of why people could take what and why. But this is my take. As you look at how much you have as capital, look at other costs. Sometimes setting up a business, that is infrastructure in terms of the equipment needed, the materials that are needed before you bring in the real stock, or before you set up that product that you're selling in the market, can be quite high in a way that you may not have imagined that, and end up taking up much of the capital. Before starting a business, if you're going online, for example, think about buying the website hosting, issues of designing, issues of printing business card, all those other costs. If it's a thing to do with the constructions and other costs, do you have enough for all that? So that when you start a business, you don't end up running out of cash. Remember, a business is a child. Giving birth to a child, you don't expect the child to be able to walk on themselves in the second day. Meaning, a business, even after starting the first day or the first month, the first year, you may not expect much of the profits So people end up, you have a business, it is starting well, you're doing good, but then at the end of the day, it's the same business that you're eating from, the same business that is servicing other loans from or other monies from. So at the end of the day, you find yourself minus the money. So the second biggest mistake people made is running out of cash. To avoid that, plan for your startup costs to double what you estimate. That is, plan well. Reason number 3, because of time and don't want to take much of your time. Number 3, having the wrong team. That rates, according to 23% of reasons why business fail, is having the wrong team. You see, you are the vision holder, but you cannot accomplish that vision of that business alone. Some businesses, if not all, require you to work with one or two other people to achieve that. The people that you bring on board are very important. They should bear the same vision like you. They should have the same goals. They should pulling towards the same direction that you are. Otherwise, having the wrong team can really mess you up. Before you put up a business, and as you bring people on board as your staff members or your partners or people to work with, assess your skill and identify the holes. That is, I want somebody to do like this. Who can fit best there? Don't just go for people. Sometimes we go for our friends. We don't go for people we are so acquainted with, or maybe other reasons make us choose who we work with. May find the members or team members who you believe that are going to help you achieve your mission. Reason number 4 is competition. We compare. Nowadays, it's not easy for you to start a business and then within 1 year to fail to have somebody else with the same product at a cheaper cost, or maybe a cheaper cost than you're selling. Competition is very high. Very, 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 very. Don't start a business fearing competition. Competition will always be there. It's very healthy competition. But then, it is good to assess your competition. When somebody comes with when there's a competition, that is, assess it. The best you can do concerning the competition. When a competitor comes with a similar product, seek to know what actually they are up to, what's their business, know it inside out, so that you can be able to articulate why you are better than them. You cannot just be there, say that you are better without having facts. Study your competitors' business. What are they doing? How are they doing differently? What are they offering? And then you see from there, how well can you now come in and be better than them. Then, if you're not better, work until you're better, because it's only the best that survives. This is a jungle. Business is more of a jungle. Only the best and the fittest do survive. So, make sure that you study the opponent. If they are better than you, better yourself. Be careful not to put your blinders on and only modify your product to beat your competitor. Work on your product to make it better and easier for your customer. Some people handle competition very bad. Because somebody has come up with a product, you are quick to lower your prices, you are quick to do some things out of panicking. No. Understand, and then from there, add value to your product if you can. Make your product better, your business better than them. If it's about efficiency, improve such factors. But don't just lower the prices, go at losses in the name of maintaining a business. Don't go that way. Competition should be handled very carefully. I will be addressing that in another video. Not today. Today we are talking about those blunders or those factors that cause our business to fail. Reason number 5 is issues of cost issues or pricing. Pricing is another thing. Pricing can be relative, but it needs to be well communicated and tested. Throwing out a price to your customer without a balance of value can make some people skittish about doing business with you. For example, think about having an Android phone. In Kenyan market at the moment, that is of July 2020, a good Android phone, that is smartphone, a good one, is about 7,000 and above. There are those that cost up to 100, but with the 7,000 and above, you can have a good Android smartphone. Think about the same Android phone. You'll be told that an Android phone goes for 300 Kenyan shillings. 300 Kenyan shillings cannot even buy that Katulu or that Kabambe Kamuli Kamwizi. You cannot. So as much as there is a competition, even if you can hear some phone costing that amount, it becomes skittish and it becomes suspicious about the quality of that. The same case applies. Cost is not a problem. Cost is always equated versus the value. What's the value of the product? What's the value? Is it worth? People or customers don't mind about the price. They are minding about the quality. Is it worth that amount? If I give this 33,000, for example, is it worth that Oppo phone? Is it worth that smart Samsung? If I give that 108,000, is it worth to have that Samsung iPhone? Is it worth? The worth should determine the costs. So be careful and be smart as far as you're pricing your products. The solution to that is that test and retest. You may find that price is not an issue. Value is the issue. So test your prices and your payment plans. For example, you may find that you find one that is convenient for the customer. Sometimes if something is too high, that's where I remember a long time ago, as I go on, a long time ago, it was not easy to even to purchase a TV. A TV was very high. Fridges were going for very high. They were very high. So some business people came up with the idea of higher purchase. They came up with those taking something on loan, whereby you're going to be paying monthly or in a certain payment plan, such that at the end of the day, the business is still earning, monies are still flowing in, customers are still getting their value. So what am I saying? Look at the pricing. Don't just lower the price or just adjust for the sake of it. Value should determine the pricing and the costing according to the market needs and also the prices in the market. Number 6 is about user friendliness. User friendliness. Make sure in this world that we are in, people don't want complications. People don't want hard things that are too complicated to operate or too hard to run. However, make sure that whatever you have is user friendly. I'm talking about especially for those people who are in gadget industry, in the gadget companies or whatever you are doing. That is whatever you're selling user friendly. Can the user be able to? Is it easy for them? If it's not easy for them, then have a way of making sure that you can help them. Yeah, make sure that you have human resource on the ground to be able to do that. Think about, for example, there are people who are not able, for example, even up to date. Kuna mtu hapo hawezi jiinstolia DSTV. Umenunua DSTV, those whatever, everything is there, but then you cannot be able to install it for yourself. That's why sometimes they sell, you buy from them, and then they make sure that they send a technician on the ground to come and help you. And if not, then there are those people who advertise themselves as the one who do installation of Azuku, installation of those DSTV, installation of those things. So at the end of the day, where something is not user friendly, make sure that you have mechanisms on the ground to make sure that the user will be able to be assisted to use the product, whatever you are selling. Because at the end of the day, if something is too complicated, be sure nobody is going to buy. That is, have a do it for you plan in a way, in a situation whereby whatever is there is not user friendly. Where something is not user friendly, people get to usually often get to run off. Think about as I conclude on that part, user friendliness. Think about these OSs, the operating systems in computers. You realize that we have got different OSs. But there is a Ubuntu, there is whatever, Mac, all that, we have got Windows, but at the end of the day, the Windows is very convenient, very easy to use. So most people prefer to go for a Windows, that is a Windows operating system on their computers than the Ubuntu, the Linux, the others. Reason being, issues to do with user friendliness. I'm not against any company, sorry, Ubuntu may come after me. No, I'm just saying about user friendliness. Make sure that whatever you have is very user friendly, whereby the users are going to be able to identify it and use your product easily without struggling and without much hassles and straining. The other point number 7, the 7th reason why they don't make or why businesses fail is starting a business with a business model. 17% of businesses go down because of lack of a business model. The question is, as you're starting this business, what is its model? Okay? Decide on the best model for your product. You may come in an estate, maybe you want to start a shop, whereby you are selling these household goods, things like unga, things like milk, things like the common household goods that are used day in day out. You come in an estate, and this place, you realize that these people in this area, most of them, there are so many small shops around here. According to you, you go ahead and start another small shop in the same neighborhood. It would be more advisable to have a wholesale shop whereby the shops will be coming to you. What am I saying? What kind of a business are you starting? Like, do you have a model for it? Is it you need to have a clear model of what exactly kind of business you want to start. Don't gamble with ideas. People like being they call jack of all trades, but masters of none. Jacks do survive, but not for long. Have a model, have a clear, don't gamble. Be sure what you want, go for it. If a need comes that you need to change the model, maybe let the need inform you, but have a clear goal and picture of where you envision your business to go. Another problem, another challenge, another reason why business don't do well, or small businesses fail, another reason is issues of marketing. We insist so much on starting and having capital and setting up structures and bringing in stock and bringing in whatever materials that we need, neglecting and ignoring the marketing part. What are you selling and who are you selling? If what you are selling is not known to the prospective buyers, be sure you're not going to survive long. Marketing. Make sure that you have a good strategy to be able to make your product reach or be known by your customers or your prospective customers. If all your capital is spent on product development and nothing left for marketing, you've got a big problem. Acquiring customers, getting known, and creating a brand can be very hard. As a result, it gets ignored. Make marketing priority. If marketing is not your strong suit, bring a good team that is going to see marketing or take marketing to the next level. You can also hire a firm. We have got those marketing firms. You can also nowadays approach media houses. We have got very many media houses in Kenya currently. You can have your brand advertised there, especially during those prime moments, prime news and all that. So at the end of the day, your brand is going to be identified and known. Make sure that you invest in marketing, because without marketing, you can be sure you are not going to go. You will not go far as far as that is concerned. Another thing, another problem, number 9, as I conclude, that affects the small businesses is ignoring customers. Sometimes, most of the times, People start businesses very humble. You are almost begging people, pleading with them to come and buy your product, getting your brand out there in a very humble way. But then, after some time, God opens doors and money starts flowing in, and you see it's like you are self-made in terms of you made yourself, you're the one in charge of what being where you are. Remember, it is your customers that has made you be there. So, never ignore your customers. People ignore customers. You ignore prospective customers or even your current customers. Customer service and feedback, it is the manna from the gods. Don't let this lifeblood spill. If your customers are being ignored, their questions unanswered, or simply poor customer service, they will share. People talk. They will talk. How is that school? How is that business? How is that place? Oh, how are those people? Oh, those staff are like this. Those people are like this. Oh, the service of that place, that restaurant is so bad, it's so poor. I cannot even recommend. So when they start talking, you can't be sure they're going to influence each other and they're going to walk out of you. To avoid that, make sure that you never ignore your customers. Always share their feedback with your team and work to resolve any issues they have. If your customers have an issue with any of your products or your services, before you go, human beings, we are used to very serious defense mechanism. We defend ourselves like it's the end of the world. You defend yourself, you justify yourself. Before you go ahead and justify your mistakes and all that, if a customer has complained, make a point of taking that complaint seriously and seeing ways to rectify that. Never ignore your customer. Last but not least is about timing of your products. We are during the corona pandemic this season. Corona is here to stay. That's what the government has said. I remember when it started, I asked a friend of mine who was laid off, what are you going to do? They told me they are thinking and planning to start selling masks. That is from the month of March. That's when they started. The corona came, and then now masks business became a boom in business. But I want to say with time, the market has already been saturated, as in almost everywhere. There are masks everywhere. Now, it's a good thing. Of course, it's a selling thing. But at the moment, 4 months down the line, the market is so saturated. Actually, we have more than enough masks. We buy because we have forgotten. Maybe you have forgotten to carry the one that you are supposed to. Or maybe you have not washed your masks or whatever reason. But then it's not like a basic as such. Timing of your product, whatever you are selling. Is it the time for it? Is it the best time for it? Sometimes it may be a good idea, but not its time. Or maybe its time has elapsed. As you start that business, as you go ahead and start it, think about timing. Sometimes a product is just too early or too late to market. You can be caught up in the development of your idea that can leave the target market scratching their heads. This is where customer feedback comes to play well. But the parting shot on that point, I want to keep customer feedback front and center so that you aren't launching things that you do not understand or things that you don't have use for. Make sure that you are launching products or those things that the customers need. Make sure that you stay relevant. Make sure that you stay relevant. Whatever is it relevant? Is it what people need? Otherwise, I wish you the very best when you start that business. Don't commit some of the mistakes I've mentioned there.